Hi, and welcome to Easter Monday. I hope you had a restorative weekend. I hope it was peaceful. I hope you were able to connect in some way to the people that matter to you. I had a bit of a weekend off. My pattern has been on Sunday nights, I've been wrapping up the week before and then moving into planning for the next week. But I kind of listened to where my head was at last night, and I didn't want to do anything productive, which is rare for me. Normally work is something that I fall into very easily. So instead, I watched a couple of episodes of Another Life, which is a Netflix sci-fi series, it's interesting, but it's very emotional, and I found that was exactly what I needed, just a bit of emotional catharsis. So today I am wrapping up and combing over what I've looked through over the last 2 weeks, what I've been working on in terms of complex rule systems, what I've learned, and trying to distill that down into some lessons. I'm continuing to read through Art of Game Design. I'm probably going to make that's probably going to be the book that I'm going to be focusing on closing out this week. I've found that rushing through that just does it a gross disservice, and the text that I had planned for this week was the audio programming book, and I've looked back through the contents for that since. It's something I'm able to purchase quickly if I change my mind, but I don't think it's quite what I'm looking for. It's all about very low-level signal processing with audio, which is interesting, but not going to serve the kinds of things that I'm going to be looking at doing, which are going to be more around arranging sound and mixing sound together at a library level. So yeah, it's going to be this afternoon. I'm going to be doing a little bit of back office stuff and a lot of looking back over the last 2 weeks, and just figuring out what the core of what I learned was. It was a very interesting 2 weeks, and the core experience, even though what I created was such a narrow sliver of what I can see potentially, it's definitely something that I'm going to, after I bump the mic, it's definitely something I'm going to continue to work on. And it's kind of kicked off digging into sci-fi, like soft sci-fi media, which is why I'm watching Another Life along with a few other things as well, on downtime. So today it's all about getting blog posts written, around wrapping up last week, doing some study, continuing to work through Art of Game Design, and planning out the week ahead, which is focusing on log files and analytics. And this is where what I've done over the last 2 weeks is really going to serve what I'm doing now, because I'm going to sit down this afternoon as well and put together just some simple scripted scenarios of interacting with the space combat like prototype that I put together, and I'm going to see if I can run those in parallel. What I want to do is basically simulate in the log files for an Alexa skill. I want to simulate multiple clients going through sessions under load, and we'll see if the testing tools actually allow me to do that. I suspect not, because every Alexa device has a unique ID associated with it, and I'm not actually sure. It's an interesting question. I'm not actually sure how the dialogue skill deals with that, which may give us something that I was looking for this week. Awesome! Because, yeah, I'll talk about it more at the end of the week. But yeah, there's a thing with log files that I really want to look at. So yeah, so this week is this is all about log files and analytics this week. So looking at how can I get information on how people are using skills. Why do I care about that? Well, let's try that in English. Why do I care about that? Because once a skill goes live, it's critical to understand how it's being used. So I want to understand what tools are there in place. And I do actually have a skill that's live. I haven't done much to push it in terms of promotion, so not much is happening with it. But I've got access to the dashboard for a live skill. So looking at what tools are there, where are the gaps, what are the good ways to get answers to the kinds of questions that you want to ask. And that's going to be the focus of this week, which is all about being to understand lessons on how people are using skills, typical play experiences, and feeding that back into iterating a skill as well. So I'll see you again tomorrow. I'll have those posts up in the meantime, and I hope that today treats you well. If it's a public holiday where you are, which it is in, I think, all of Australia, Easter Monday is a public holiday. If that means anything to you, then fantastic. I hope you get a chance to rest on the other side of the Easter weekend, chill out with some chocolate and something that brings you joy. If it's in addition to chocolate, which, chemically brings you joy as well. Talk to you again soon.